Hello and welcome to my side of the bag. I'm Drew Hinesley. He's Scotty Worldwide. And our guest today, longtime tour veteran, major multiple winner, and recently drank out of the Solheim Cup as part of the victorious United States team at Robert Trent Jones in Gainesville, Virginia. Les Luark. Les, welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Birdie Brands, Game On, Bugs Gone, strongest bug spray in the game. Also helps you focus for that back nine grind. And also Uncle Keith's red sauce, call it salsa, call it red sauce. When you have Uncle Keith's, you can call it a party. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Scotty for joining us in El Dorado, Arkansas. Les, you're coming to us from your house today, an off week. Have you been able to recharge your batteries after a very long week in Virginia?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. After 4 days being home, I've got some rest and got caught back up. And yeah, because the first, it was not easy. It was a long week last week, a lot of adrenaline, and it definitely took a few days to recover from all that. So, but now we're doing good.
Well, for those that don't know, a team event is 5 sessions, morning and afternoon, Friday and Saturday, and then, of course, the singles on Sunday. You guys played the first three, so you played all day Friday, you played Saturday morning. What was the discussion prior to Saturday afternoon or even Friday night about what your plans were going to be? Were you going to try to play 5 and talk about the energy level that takes?
Yeah, we were pretty sure we weren't going to play 5. Stacy made it pretty clear she didn't really want to push anybody that hard. I think it was maybe still an option for a couple of the girls, just depending on how the Saturday morning session went. You know, we played Friday afternoon with Lauren, and I think like if we had gone out and maybe played a little bit better Saturday morning, she might have tried to put Sarah back out in the afternoon and put her back together with Lauren again. But I think she was pretty set on what she wanted to do. And she really, in all fairness, didn't really deviate much from what she had already set in place. So there probably was not much of a chance we were gonna ever play Saturday afternoon, regardless of how it went Saturday morning. But yeah, we talked a lot about it. We talked about managing the. We kind of used euphoria all week because, especially after Friday, after Friday, she was on such a high, being a rookie, being her first time there, feeling the adrenaline from the fans, all the excitement, and it was packed Friday afternoon. And her and Lauren, and even towards on the back nine with her and Lilia in the morning, I mean, it was packed, and she was engaged with the fans, and she was cheering everybody on, and so her adrenaline level was through the roof. So it definitely took her a bit of time just to kind of come down from that and even make an attempt at getting ready for Saturday morning.
Awesome. For those of you that don't know, Les Luark, caddy for Sarah Schmezel, up to 60th in the world, 22 on CME. Les, you've had a long career, plenty of success. I mean, it's 15 some odd wins, major champion, took someone to world number 1. But this was your first Solheim Cup.
Yeah.
Can you just take us to the team room and describe kind of how it was all week? And for those of you that don't know, I think the U.S. has kind of gotten a bad rap in the past for maybe not having the best team room. And so can you just kind of talk about your experience in the team room this week?
Yeah, I can't really speak to the past. Obviously, we've all heard the kind of whispering behind the scenes about there's not a lot of team camaraderie, and a lot of people kind of do their own things. And this year was unbelievable. The group of ladies that we had, even the ones that I feel like during stroke play events, they tend to be a little more to themselves and introverted. Everybody was all in. We had an unbelievable group of caddies, with Show and Ollie and McDeedy and Cole. I mean, they did, the rest of us, me, T-Mac, we just kind of sat back and we enjoyed what they were doing there, but they kept everybody from the team room to the bus rides were unbelievable. If you wanted to take a break on the bus ride, forget it. You had no chance. So it was amazing. The experience was unbelievable. Any of those whispers that from the past about there not being any team spirit. There was definitely none of that this year. It was everybody was all in. I mean, Stacy did an amazing job. She put the right people where they needed to be. She had the right captains there that were everybody was. All the captains are pretty feisty, as you know. We had Morgan and Paula and Angela. So I mean, everybody that was there to have fun, but we were all there to bring the cup home.
Awesome. Obviously, you've just been on the Bay, what, 4, 6, 5 weeks, something like that now for
Or
Sarah. Okay, yeah. Obviously, it seems like she's taking a step up this year. Had the chance to see her game trend earlier in the year. Obviously, putting in a lot of hard work with her instructor, Chris Mason. What do you contribute to the rise of Sarah? I mean, I looked up the stats: 19th in birdies, 70% of greens in regulation, 16th in rounds in the 60s. Ball striking overall ranks 15th on the LPGA Tour right now. It just seems like she's taken a step up. And the short time you've got to work with her and seeing her from the past, what do you contribute to her rise this year?
well, her and Chris have definitely done a great job. He's tightened up the swing a little bit. He's got her pretty good on just kind of a one way miss. And I think that's really that's helped her confidence on the golf course. But I think 100% it's her commitment level. I think she's finally made a decision that I'm kind of done messing around. Like it's time to get to work. Like I'm going to do whatever it takes to get across the finish line. And we've had a lot of conversations since I started with her just about, okay, we need to clean this up. We need to make some more putts from this distance. We need to we need to get a little better around the greens on these type of shots. And those little things are the things that are going to make the difference to push her over the edge. She's ultra talented. And again, it's just a matter of cleaning up, a shot here or a shot there, or making a putt here or a putt there. And it's the difference between finishing 10th and holding a trophy. So she's going to get there.
Absolutely. Um, like you said, this was your first Solheim, and you were surprised by a couple different things. What's your lasting memory of the experience last week?
Probably will be it'll probably be like the bus rides in the team
Sure.
room. And I mean, all of it was unbelievable. Well, I've had some experiences going, like when we did International Crown in Korea a couple years ago in 2018. I mean, it was like walking down Augusta on Sunday. Every single fairway was lined 6 deep with fans, and it was amazing. But it was a little bit different because then I was caddying for area. We were playing in Korea. um, this is different. When I'm wearing red, white, and blue, it's a totally different experience. So that part of it was amazing, to actually be able to not only cheer my player on, but to actually know that I'm cheering for my country. It was the first time I've ever been able to do that. So that was that part of it was amazing. But probably like just the bus rides, and the bus rides were probably the best part of the entire trip. I mean, getting on the bus, we had a big speaker on there. Show was an amazing DJ, and everybody sang and danced the whole way to the golf course, and I mean, it was 4:30 in the morning, and it was go time as soon as you got on that bus, and we didn't quit. We walked into the lobby at the hotel, and every single day we had Whitney Houston blaring walking into the hotel. And it was awesome from the moment we woke up till we got back to the rooms.
Now, you're talking about Show being a DJ. He also made a few headlines out there. Take us through that whole situation. Saturday afternoon, I believe, hole number 2, Megan Kang, Allison Lee, hole out for Eagle.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously we were standing on the tee, so we got to see it on the jumbotron right there on the tee, and it was epic. I mean, the stands erupted, and we were all kind of like, "What is going on?" And then we looked up at the jumbotron, and here's Show and Jack running around the fairway with no shirts on, and it was pretty funny. And then it kind of snowballed, and after Saturday, and everybody was like, "Okay, that's the standing bet," and I'm like, "That's not the standing bet." I'll pay the $500 that my shirt is. That's not going to help anybody. Trust me. So
I have a feeling I don't think T Mac would be taking his shirt off.
Yeah, there's a few of us older guys, maybe a bit more reserved than these young kids. I mean, but hey, they had a blast. They enjoyed it. They embraced it, and it was fun to see. So you just weren't going to see me do it.
I don't think I'd ever see Jack take his shirt off, but we saw
Ah,
it.
whew, we saw it. Yeah, I'm. It's no wonder I had trouble sleeping the first couple nights I was home.
All right, you're off this week. You're not in Cincinnati. What's the schedule for you guys coming up, coming off this big Solheim Cup high?
Well, we were going to play Arkansas, and we had a lot of conversations about it. It was kind of a big decision because she asked me what I thought, and I said, "There's only one question we have to answer: is do you feel like you can go there and win?
Mm.
That's the only question you need to ask." And she said, "I feel like right now I feel like I can win." And I said, "Well, then go play. If we think we can win, then we go." Because she's riding a huge high. Her confidence has never been higher. She referenced that. She said, I've now been able to execute shots in the highest pressure environment I've ever been in and actually do it and execute them the way I want to. And she said, I've never been able to do that in my career. So, with that being said, she also was like, I'm exhausted. And I really want to make a good run coming up to the end of the year over to Asia and then Tampa in CME. So she just said, you know what, I'm not going to play. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take a whole month, kind of come down from this for a couple of weeks, put the clubs away, and then get back to work and get ready. So we're skipping Cincy this week, Arkansas next week. We're also skipping China. So she's going to have a full 4 weeks off, and then we're going to play BMW, the Malaysia event, Japan, and then Tampa in the CME.
Okay, so schedule ramping up from October to November there.
Yep.
One of the things I find interesting is Lauren Coughlin's rise, and you saw that with T Mac on the bag. Do you feel like you might be able to do the same thing for Sarah as a veteran caddy who's kind of seen everything and been there and won, and to get those players over the finish line?
I mean, I think so. I think, I talked a lot with Lauren. We traveled together over to Scotland, and we had a lot of conversations on the way over there. And obviously, she gives Terry a world of credit for coming on and keeping her calm is more than anything. Just having somebody with that type of experience and knowing how to not let the moment get the best of them, stay relaxed, keep her relaxed. And I, similarly, obviously, I don't have 83 wins like Terry does, but I feel like I do that, and I feel like she's very receptive to that. So I'm hopeful, yes, that we can. That's going to have a big impact on getting her where she wants to be. And again, touching back on just getting a few more putts to go in here and there, and just tidying up a couple things, and then it'll be off to the races.
Awesome.
You got to pair with number 2 player in the world, Lilia Vu, on Friday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about her game and how she's ascended to the top of the world rankings.
That girl is unbelievable. She's great. I mean, you sit and watch her. You sit and watch her on the range, and her and Brett are doing their thing, and it looks like you sit and watch her, and it looks like she's not going to break 78. And then she goes out on the golf course and she flags every single shot. She chips it in. She makes a couple 30-footers every round, and you just look at her like, good Lord. Like, you get her in that competitive environment, and she knows how to turn it on, and I love that in a player. I don't care, Monday to Wednesday, you can sit and hosel everything. I don't care. Like, I don't stress about that kind of stuff. I don't care if we have a crappy warm up or a great warm up. It makes no difference. On once you get inside the ropes and the juices get going, and if you can execute shots, that's all I ask of anybody. And she's the best at it. I mean, I've never seen. JJ was pretty close. JJ was similar to that. Obviously, JJ wasn't quite as good as Lilia, but it just she has that, and it's great to see these young kids because she's just going to get better and better and better and better.
Well, back in the 90s when I was growing up, we used to call that being a gamer.
Yeah.
You maybe weren't the best guy in practice, but you're the guy that was going to get the ball at the end of the game when it really mattered.
Yeah, yeah, and she's definitely that. So
That's awesome. Les, obviously, you've done so much. Like we said, 15 wins, cross off the Solheim, world number one now. What keeps you motivated, and what's the thing that keeps you out there as a man? That's what's still you need to cross off the resume in caddy.
well, there's probably not anything left to cross off. In this, like, I've reflected a bit on it. This
Yeah,
wasn't, Solheim was not even on my radar. Um, I've this is the first time I've ever worked for an American player full time, so I've never like Solheim was just never something I even considered. Um, and like even when David approached me to ask me to work, hey, would you be interested in finishing out the year with Sarah? I said, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And I said, but listen, if you want to go do Solheim with her, her better than I do. I'm only going to have a couple weeks under the belt to be shoved into that environment. And he was like, no way. If you take the job, like you're going. So anyway, as far as staying motivated and staying out there, I like to compete and I love to win. So the travel, the Monday to Wednesday stuff gets a little tiresome. But when the gun goes off on Thursday morning or coming down the stretch on Saturday and Sunday, there's no place like it. I mean, there's nothing like looking your player in the eyes and trying to figure out a way to get her to do what you need her to do to try to win. And it's such an amazing and such a rewarding experience when it happens. So
Yeah,
that's probably it. I mean, I like to win.
that's been one of the more frustrating things that I have kind of in self reflection realized about myself is why I'm getting frustrated with working with some young players because they work so hard Monday through Wednesday, 10, 11-hour days. And then
Hmm.
we go out and we miss the cut. So I only get to do my favorite thing 2 days of the week.
Yeah.
And then I've got to help them learn how to be a pro 3 days a week,
Yeah.
which it's like, man, I understand that's part of the process, but that is so not as desirable as just competing. And so I end up spending more days doing something undesirable than desirable. And you
Yeah.
do that 4 or 5 weeks in a row. And even your wife on the FaceTime is going, "What's wrong with you?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"Nothing. I'm fine."
Yeah, you're biting her head off because,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
I
for
get it.
sure.
I
Yeah,
get it. I get it.
Scotty's not there yet. Scotty's still a young buck. He still loves Mondays and Tuesday mornings, dew
Listen,
scraping, setting the pins in on Wednesday night for that E9. He's still all in for that.
yeah,
Whereas
listen.
you and
I
we're
feel
talking,
like
you and
listen.
I are telling our players we need to be efficient with our time use.
yeah.
You
Scotty
gotta
hadn't started
love you
using
gotta
that word
love
yet.
Tuesday morning as much as you love Sunday afternoon. If you're gonna be fucking great at this job, right?
Well, and I kind of agree with that, but it's yeah. I mean, it's true. You have to put in the work. But the biggest thing that this is the thing that like Sarah and I talked about a little bit about skipping Arkansas. I told her, I said, she's like, I've never taken 2 weeks off before, like actual taken two tournaments off, and I've never had like a full month off during the season. And she's like, that's the only thing that concerns me. And I said, listen, I said, you're going to sit at home, you're going to miss two tournaments, and you're going to be staring at the TV. I said, when you get to Korea, you're going to be ready to chew somebody's arm off to get on that tee on Thursday morning. And I said, that's what makes people great.
Mm.
Like you do your work at home. So when you get to the golf tournament, all we're doing is playing golf. And that's kind of one of the struggles to Drew's point. Like, we don't have the luxury like the PJ Tour does. We don't have 38, 40 events, 42 events, 48 events. So the girls feel like they have to play every single tournament or they're missing out. So you get into those, 3, 4, 5 week stretches and everybody gets run down. There's no desire. There's no like, there's no fight. Like no, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what
I
the
get
word
it.
is, but you get what I mean. Like you go take 3 weeks off and you sit at home on the couch and watch other people play and watch other people win. When you show up at that tournament, it's like, that's me. I'm in. I'm going. Let's go. I mean, Tiger did it great. Annika, Inby. I mean, the greats all do it. They take time away from competition to make themselves more competitive. And
Well,
it's,
look at what Nelly did earlier this year.
yeah,
Hello.
I mean, I just wish I wish we could see that a little bit more. I think the level, and don't get me wrong, the level of women's golf has skyrocketed just in the last, 6, 7, 8 years. especially from what we used to watch, Drew, when we came out in the early 2000s. Compared to now, I mean, the girls now are so good. So it would be cool to see some of them, do that more, have a little bit more time away from the tour, away from golf. So when they do come, the level of golf is just going to get better and better and better.
Fully agree. Fully agree. And I think the more we learn about recovery and rest and,
Yeah,
using things like our whoops to maximize performance, we see how important rest is. And,
yeah,
you don't maybe need to play more than 18 holes, 9 and 9 and, tee it up on Thursday.
yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, it's just golf.
Absolutely.
All right, Les, you've been doing this a long time. Are we going to see you out there in 24 years like Fluff, still, grinding, still working for the young players, maybe having to get you carted off because you slipped down a tee box? Are you going to do it that long?
Not unless one of my kids decides they want to take this as a career path, which that's not being encouraged in my house right now. So, um, now we've got a pretty solid plan at my house. My wife's got a master's degree and she wants to put it to use. I've got a boy that's on the 27th going to turn 3. And I've got an almost 8-year-old. So as soon as my 3-year-old gets into VPK or into kindergarten, so it could be a year, it might be 2 years, but once that happens and my wife's able to, she's able to put the diaper bag away, and go out into the world and work, I will be coming home. So that might be next year, that might be the year after. But there is definitely an exit strategy there. It's just a matter of when do we do it? When do we implement it? So I don't expect to be out there like Fluff, but you never know.
Hey, you never know.
Well, you've been doing it a long time, and we appreciate your time today. And I'm really glad you got to wear that USA hat last week for a victorious team. You're 1-0 in the Solheim Cup. How's that feel?
It feels amazing. Yeah, yeah, feels great. Didn't expect to ever be able to say that, but it was such a cool experience, and yeah, it was fun.
Well, we appreciate your time. We also appreciate our sponsors, Birdie Brands, Game On, Bugs Gone, and Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. Thanks to our sponsors for making this show possible. Scotty, thanks for coming to us from Arkansas. You got a first round today. Won last week. Scotty picked up his first win last week, trying to go back to back in
Yep.
Arkansas. So we wish you the best of luck today. We'll be following along, as
I'm
will
a,
all our viewers. And you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and X. Give us a listen, give us a like, and we'll keep giving you the view of the world of golf from my side of the bag.